Hello again, everyone. So out of the 3 FNaF fan games that really made my tween years, Candies was a big name amongst those. It's commonly known to be one of the earliest FNaF fan games out there. Not the first actually to be, but the first to really skyrocket the whole FNaF fan game craze. This series, developed by Emil Mako, would go on to create 2 other Candies installments, and really after that just a lot of side stuff. Like, did you guys know that Emil actually worked on the Pop Goes Arcade? Yeah, the new one I just covered. Yeah, he had a hand in making that. And he also worked with Markiplier on some, those animatronic interview stuff that you may have saw on his channel a while back. Now, you already know about Candies 4, and, it's a thing. Trust me, I saw the Reddit post, like everyone else, it definitely exists. And I wanted to today take a look at the 3 preceding Five Nights at Candies games before the 4th one eventually releases in, well, 2050. Now, before we actually jump into the first game, I actually wanted to talk development history because Candies is quite funny to me. So, Emil Mako made his own character, a Five Nights at Freddy's OC, and his name was, take a wild guess, Candy. Yeah, crazy, I know. After Emil made that post, Candies spread like a wildfire. Or, well, more or less just, he started a whole sugar rush. Yeah, funny, I know. And people actually made rumors that he was an actual official Five Nights at Freddy's character. Don't believe me? I'm just gonna pull up this image, and any of the OG FNaF fans out there who've been here since 2014 would more than likely know. But for those who don't, I'm just gonna zoom in, 3, 2, 1, here. This is what made people think that Candy was an official character. A goddamn shadow. There was another instance involving Candy, and it's in the fan game series called The Return to Freddy's. This is not Candy. This is actually Sugar the cat. Now, its model was changed from the original Return to Freddy's 1, but originally it was just a stolen Candies model and just renamed to Sugar the Cat, which honestly doesn't really help your case considering it's literally still Candy, just one step backward from Candy. You just get Sugar. Now, I don't know if Emil eventually got pissed at the fact that people kept stealing his model for their own works, but it probably did, and it brought him to the point just to make his own fan game and leave it there. But I doubt that's actually what happened. But I'm gonna be honest, if it did, that would unironically be really, really funny. Okay, I've done this intro long enough, let's finally talk about Candies 1. Okay, so for Candies 1, I want to quickly talk about the remastered version because that's what I'm playing for this video. Now, I'm not going to spend a half hour while you should play this over the original game. Just know that the game is in full widescreen, the lighting has been updated, and the controls have been greatly improved. And there's much more content in this version of the game, and by much more content, I mean a single night. I think that's everything. Let's actually talk about the video game. Now, considering that this is one of the earlier FNaF fan games out there, this one plays a lot like FNaF 1. You have power to manage, 3 doors to close, Candy and Cindy will be your first obstacles for the night. They will approach the doors, close them when they're there. Actually, the doors have a pretty unique mechanic where the longer they stay closed, the more power they start draining. The cameras also have a unique gimmick with the night vision, it's to help you see what's out there. But you can also see the animatronics have a white glow in their eye, so you can see them in the dark, if they're staring at the camera. They also have that glow when they're at the door, so pay attention to the door silhouette. If you see 2 white dots, then it's okay to close it. I also really like the wires that are hooked up to the monitor. Nice attention to detail. The night's over and we get our first post-night cutscene when we're introduced to the story-related character, the Reverse Puppet, or as many of you know him by now, Vinny, which gives me an excuse to make the entire bit by calling him Vinny Vinesauce for the rest of the video. All he does is just a simple jump scare and you're on to the second night. Night 2 introduces 2 new characters into the mix, one being the Penguin, who is like the balloon boy of this game. He disables your defenses, then it's basically game over. I will be referring to him as Pingu, because he's a bitch. Then there's Chester, or as I like to call him, the monkey! I know it may seem that he's a Foxy gimmick, with the whole curtain thing going on, but not really, he's just like the others. Just shut the door in his face, and you'll be good. This post-night cutscene now shows 2 endoskeletons that have blood on them. I don't know how they managed to get blood on the entire endoskeleton, mind you. Must have been a grenade that managed to get all the blood all over them. Night 3 now introduces the Blank character, who is the actual Foxy gimmick of this game. He'll try to bitch slap the window. Just shut the window in his face and you'll be good. The next post-night cutscene is the same as Night 2, but now with pretty police decorations. Just in time for Halloween. Night 4 is up next, and we're introduced to the next character, being Old Candy. He's like the other 4 but unlike the other 4 though, he has no eyes, meaning he can't see. Really, you can't just use the doors to see that he's there, you need to look at the cameras to spot him. Other than that, he's just like the others. Post-night cutscene now shows both Candy and Cindy both sitting down and Vinny Vinesauce freaking the fuck out. Then the cats both look at the camera, and that takes us to Night 5, where it's just really hard. Beat it, and the cutscene now shows Old Candy and Blank, and Vinny telling us that it was his mistake, and that it is our problem. Thus, we unlock the 6th night, where we're introduced to the final character, his name being The Rat, which has to be the shittest name for an animatronic mascot I've ever seen. Doesn't really help that in the sequel, he has a partner called The Cat. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog, but just the Hedgehog. So since Markiplier called them Radicus and Catechus in his playthrough, I'm gonna name them Tom and Jerry. So Jerry over here can go both doors like normal Candy, and like Old Candy, you gotta look at the door cameras to see if he's there. That's all you really have to do for him, on top of literally everyone else in Night 6. Beat that and you'll unlock Custom Night. Now you'll want to go to the extras menu for this one and go to the rat. Zoom in on his face and just wait a minute. Then you want to put in these following numbers onto your screen. Here they are on screen in case you don't know for some reason, which is pretty stupid because all you have to do is just look at the fucking mouse. And no, it's not your computer mouse. This unlocking the secret 8th night, or the Shadow Knight. It's really just a fight against Shadow Candy, and he's originally a scrapped character, which is pretty cool. He'll be sitting on cam 13, a camera you're not able to access. He'll move around and can only be seen without night vision, but sometimes he'll only be seen with it on, and when he's at the door, you have a few seconds to react. A cool little animation play, so that's pretty cool. Then there's Origami Candy on the desk, sitting there, and Beating the Night gives us a teaser for the upcoming Candies 4. Yeah, already this one's really good. The characters are a little samey, but it's not really bothersome or anything. The switch up with Old Candy and Jerry is pretty nice, and Blank offers a little more urgency. There is the Origami Cat, which I already mentioned earlier, and some newer players may not really know what that is, but I will mention it later in the video and you'll find out for yourself. Honestly, this game is really faithful to FNaF 1 and 2, mainly FNaF 1, but there are some elements of 2 here that you probably have noticed yourselves. Well, that's all I really have to say for this game, other than it's really, really good. Let's see if Candies 2 can keep the momentum going. Whoop. Candies 2 couldn't keep the momentum going. Honestly, Candies 2, probably the worst Candies game by far. So, here's a little tutorial on how you play this game. Step 1, play a noise in a room. Step 2, joke's on you, there is no step 2, because that's literally the whole game. The only characters who are even slightly different is the Monkey and Pingu. Diddy Kong over here will bang on the vents, while Pingu will just shut off your cameras, so he's even more of a bitch in this game. Mate, forget throwing Balloon Boy out the window in Day Shift, I want to throw this loser instead. Then you obviously have Tom and Jerry in Night 6 that do every gimmick in the game, that only being 3, and that's almost all of Candies 2. The post-night minigames, they're now like actual minigames similar to FNaF 3's now, and they basically just show how the 87 location ended up closing its doors and getting all the robots sent to the factory, and later seeing what happened with Old Candy before he was eventually replaced. You can also get a secret minigame that sort of builds up for Candies 3. Honestly, I wish there was a lot more to talk about Candies 2, but there really isn't anything. That's literally the entire game, basically. I went through everything there is with Candies 2, and honestly, it's really boring. A lot of the characters just feel, well, exactly the same as each other. Only 2 of them are somewhat different, but really, like, only one of them is just dealt like the Phantom animatronics from FNaF 3. There's only 3 whole gimmicks, and really the game just revolves you around just playing the phones and just sitting and waiting. You could literally beat the entire game without even looking and flashing your phone camera down the hallway. You could just literally stare at the cameras and do nothing the entire time. The game just, to me, feels really empty and devoid of a lot of personality. It just feels like a grey room. Like, considering that this is supposed to be a factory, there's not really much factory stuff here. It feels like to me that Candies 2 is just supposed to be a bigger game or something, but we just never got that. Honestly, out of the 3 Candies games, I think Candies 2, and, well, to some extent Candies 3, but we'll talk about that later, badly need a remake. I like the designs of the characters, they look cool and all that. The rat and the cat is pretty cool. Tom and Jerry, really. We have one more game to look at today, and that's going to be Candies 3, so please enjoy this final segment on Candies 3 that isn't an entire minute long. Just gonna start this off by saying that this is definitely better than Candies 2. This one being clearly inspired by Five Nights at Freddy's 4, which already is a game that I'm not really that fond of. That game, pretty repetitive, and here it's just more repetitive. You only have Tom and Jerry to deal with in this game, mainly Jerry. All you have to do is move the mouse left and right, and whenever Jerry enters the room, you go into a fight sequence, and you need to shine the light on Jerry's face whenever he enters the room, depending on which side. After that phase is over, he'll go under your bed, and what you need to do is you need to find out what side he's under, and then you just need to shine the light. I believe it's where he entered from, so if he's on the right, just shine the light over to the right. And all you need to do is wait for him to come out on the other side of the bed and then just shine the light on him again to get rid of him for a while. That's pretty much the entire game in a nutshell. There's also the cat that just shows up on either side of the bed. You just need to shine the light on him and he'll go away. It feels like the cat was a bit more of an afterthought this time around. There's also post-night minigames again. These just show the main character's events being Mary. She's the character that we've been playing as in the first and third game. The second one we play is a character called Marilyn, who is an entirely different character, and I'm assuming she's also related to Mary, I'm guessing. These just show her events that gave her trauma in the first place. It isn't until Night 5 where we discover the event that traumatized Mary. The puppeteer that played Vinny accidentally killed the person inside the rat costume while drunk and feared his own consequences, so he killed the cat who was going to have his name revealed, and surprise, surprise, it was going to be Candy. No idea on what the rat's real name was going to be. I guess Jerry is the best option we have. Night 6, or the final night, now introduces Vinny as the main antagonist. He's basically just a harder version of the rat, where you, well, harder as in like it's just the same rat phase times 2. And look what he's doing. Look at him. I get to use the clip now. The final minigame sees Mary walking out the closet she hid in and escaping the theater, thus ending the story of Five Nights at Candy's. We're not done just yet because there's actually some minigames. I actually like some of these minigames, they're pretty fun, like this one that's just ripped from Mario Party. This one is just Super Mario Brothers, but with Candy now. You can find Easter eggs, and he shows you Emil's own original project, codenamed Opia, Project Opia. And yeah, I guess it is an original project, and well, as of this recording, there hasn't been any news on it, so I'm assuming this project has either been shelved in favor for Candies 4, or have been scrapped. More than likely the former. Yeah, this one's not that great either. Better than Candies 2, but still fairly boring. The minigames really make up for it, to be honest. And, well, I decided that I may as well talk about a handful of the Easter eggs I found throughout the series, just for a little fun, I guess. If there's any that you found that I didn't or talk about in this video, feel free to let me know in the comments below. So, starting with Candies 1, you probably already know there's the Dorco and Markiplier Easter eggs, mainly in part due to everyone already knowing that they exist for like the past many years at this point. Candies 2, I found that one random character that I have no idea who it is. Is it like a fan character, or is it like just, you know, Emil's friend or something? I don't know. I also found a drawing of Pop Goes on the floor. Like, not the new one, but the cringe old one. Candies 3 has the plushies of Doug and Rachel from that, the fan game series from Nixon that literally no one ever talks about anymore. And then you also have the Pop Goes plush right under it. I also found a Markiplier plush on the shelf and a Jacksepticeye light, or something. I don't really know what it is. I'm just assuming it's a light. And then there's also a Freddy with a Skyrim helmet on. I don't know why. Maybe Emil likes Skyrim or something. If there's any I missed, then please let me know. And really, looking back at Candies, it's really just a clone of FNaF, and I don't really mean that in the meanest way imaginable. Because, like, if you call the game a clone, that's basically, like, the same level as an insult at this point. It's just that the landscape of FNaF fan games has changed ever since Candies dropped, and we've had so many fan games pushing the limits, and games like Flumpties 3 defining what a fan game should really strive to be like. Candies just sort of stuck more to its FNaF roots, and that's fine. There is still some originality with Candies, but, like, really comparing it to, say, like once again, Flumpties 3, you can definitely tell the difference between the two. Now, I'm not saying Candies is mid or anything, as it definitely isn't. I think Candies is a really good series, and as a FNaF clone, I think it's probably one of the better ones out there. And really, Candies not being a part of the fanverse, to me, just feels really empty inside. It's just not right, man. It really isn't. I mean, more or less props to Emil for actually attempting to try to use the FNaF 4 style gameplay, despite the fact that no one really ever bothers to do that, because everyone knows it kind of sucks. So, I guess that's something to be happy about. Now, when it comes to Candies 4, the next game in the series, which I'm pretty excited for, to be honest, this one, I did a little research myself, and found out that it's going to be based around Sister Location, which out of the 3 FNaF games after FNaF 3 came out, this one I felt was the one that really, really enticed me a lot. It's not that good, looking back at it, but I'd still think it could possibly be one of the better FNaF games out there, and it feels like that Emil wants to try and tackle this one, so we'll wait and see to see what Candies 4 has to offer. But if you still want some more Candies content, FNaF first should probably, fill you up on that end, because it's based on that platformer in Candies 3 that I already just barely talked about. And I will be definitely covering that when it releases, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It is the same color as, the character I'm playing as in Lethal Lava Land from Super Mario 64. It's always greatly appreciated for this channel. And if you do want to follow some of my socials, because yes, I have them, please consider following me on Twitter. I don't really use it that much, considering on how much of a hellhole that site even is, but it would be nice to have a couple followers that, like my tweets every time, like my dumb shit. I do want to use it a little bit more, but I just don't really know when I should probably start using it, so, soon, I guess. And you can also join my Discord server as well. It'd be very nice if you could all start talking in that a lot more and making it a bit more alive, instead of having to hear my friends talk about some dumb shit politics that I don't give two fucks about. Well, that's all I have for today. I'll see you all next time. I gotta find a way out of this stupid place. I don't know where the power stars are, because I think I got them already, but oh well, I'll make my way out eventually. Thanks everybody so much for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.